start the recording. Thank you. Bhagavata Pravaha. What have we given so far in Bhagavata Pravaha? The whole overview of Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself, and then the Samshipta Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole summary of Bhagavatam in 1 hour. After that, the first canto of Bhagavatam, second canto of Bhagavatam, third canto of Bhagavatam, fourth canto of Bhagavatam, all of that. We have heard all of that, and now we are going into the fifth canto of Bhagavatam. Okay. So, if you remember well, in the very beginning, we have heard the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutaya manvantara ishanukada nirodho muktirashraya. So, the sarga, visarga. Sarga is primary creation. Visarga is secondary creation. Sarga means from the Bhukati of Mahavishnu, Shambhu comes and interacts with Pradhan up until the Vishwa, not the Vishwarupa of the Lord Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, but the universal form, in the Brahmanda, up until the formation of that universal form, it is all Sarga, right? And after that blueprint of universal form is available, then Brahma starts creating. From there on, it is called Visarga. Okay. That Sarga and Visarga, most part of the Sarga we have heard in third canto, though it was started in second canto, most part was heard in the beginning of the third canto. The first chapters of the third canto in the Vidura Maitreya Samvada. That is Sarga. And if you remember, by the end of that second part in the third canto, the Sarga part is over and the Visarga starts. When Brahmaji comes from the navel of Mahavishnu, Brahma takes birth and offers the prayers, right? And after offering the prayers, he starts creation. So that is the starting of the Visarga. After Brahma appears, he starts the creation. Remember, Narada Muni comes out, and then the 4 Kumaras, and then Rudra, and the 10 sons. After that, Vak, the daughter of Brahma, right? And after that incident, Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa comes out from the body of Brahma. That is how the story of Varahadeva starts in the third canto, right? So that is all Visarga. Whatever that happens from Brahma is all Visarga. So in that way, we have been hearing about the Visarga from the third canto. And it was continuing the Visarga part. How? Swayambhu Manu, Shatarupa, when they united, their progeny, 3 daughters, right? Devahuti, Akuti, Prasuti, and 2 sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So that's how the progeny continued. So there, by the end of the third canto, we have heard about Devahuti's Santana, Devahuti and Kardama Muni, their Santana, their progeny, 9 daughters and 1 son, Kapila Muni, right? That's the progeny of Devahuti. And then in the beginning of the 4th canto, we have heard about the progeny of Akuti. Akuti is married to Ruchi, sage Ruchi. And their son Yajna was born, right? So in that way, we have heard about the progeny of Akuti. And then comes the progeny of Prasuti. Prasuti was married to Prasuti Daksha. To them, 16 daughters were born, The first 13 daughters were married to Dharma. In the last 3 daughters, the very last daughter was Sati. Sati was married to Shiva. She didn't have any santana, any progeny. Right? So that's how we heard about the progeny of Prasuti. We have heard about the progeny of all the 3 daughters of Swayambhu Manu, who is the son of Brahma. That's how the creation started, and all the Prajapatis, how the universe is being filled up. We have heard till then. And then in the 4th canto, in the beginning of the 4th canto, we have heard about Akutis and Prasutis, and then came the Dhruva Charita, because he's the son of Uttanapada. So in that way, Uttanapada's progeny, we have heard that all in the 4th canto. Uttanapada and so many in between, Uttanapada and Dhruva, right? And Dhruva's sons. And then down the road, in the same, the descendants of Dhruva was Anga Maharaj. Anga, and then that bad king Vena, and after that Prithu Maharaj. Then Prithu Maharaj, and all the way the descendants come down. Prithu Maharaj's son was who has brought back the horse, right? And his name was Vijitatsva, but his title was Antardhana, given by Indra, right? So Vijitatsva, and the progeny continued, and finally we came to Prachina Barhishat. Yeah, and Prachina Barhishat had those 10 sons. 10, yes, 10 of them, the Prachetas. Right? This number only goes up as we go on. Here only 10 sons, but we'll see 100 sons, 1,000 sons. As the Visarga is happening, as the Brahmanda is being filled up, this is how the count goes. And here, so Prachina Barishat and Prachetas, 10 sons. That's all the 4th canto. We have heard that all. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 4th canto. Dhruva Charita, Prithu Charita, Dhruva, Darshan of Lord Narayana, and how Lord Narayana blessed Dhruva with the touch of the conch shell. We have heard that all. Prithu Charita, and how the 4 Kumaras came, their teachings. And these Prachetas, how fortunate are they? Rudra came in, Rudra Gita. Prachina Barishat, what is his fortune? From Annamaya Kosha directly to Anandamaya Kosha, how Naradamaya took him from the lowest part to the highest part. We have heard that all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 4th canto. Now we will be hearing from the 5th canto. So now that we have heard till Uttanapada, one son is left over, that's Priyavrata. So we will be hearing about Priyavrata and the descendants of Priyavrata in the 5th canto. That's what we are going to do today. So this is Sarga and Visarga we have heard. So see how Visarga is continuing, starting from Brahma to Swayambhu Manu up until here. And remember, the Prachina Barisha, Prachetas are there, right? Remember the Pracheta's son Daksha is there. And Daksha, how many sons and how many daughters, thousands and thousands, how we will have it, we will hear in the future. But this is how the Visarga is continuing like this. This is how the whole Brahmanda is being filled up. The different lokas are filled up. And when we come to Daksha and his daughters and their progeny, we will see how aquatic species, avian species, like, the birds, the reptiles, how they are originated. The 8,400,000 species, where are they coming from? This is how they are coming, like this, with this Visarga. So that we will know more. But today, we will hear about the overview of the fifth canto. And we will hear more about first 2-3 chapters of the fifth canto today. Okay, so we are going to the fifth canto now. That's fifth canto. The life is coming back. Looking at the pictures of Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing from these devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam, feels like the life is coming back. Yes, so this is the fifth canto. And here you go. How did the fifth canto start? Vidura, Maitreya. I remember at the end of that Maitreya, at the end of the fourth canto, Vidura goes to Hastinapura. He goes to Hastinapura. So this, again, Srimad Bhagavatam is not in a chronological sequence. It is not in a put according to the time. Yeah. It is a compilation. So we just take the themes of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Not that the first canto happened after second canto happened after third canto. It's not like that. Yeah. So now the Vidura Maitreya Samvada is continuing. Okay, now Vidura Maitreya. This Vidura Maitreya Samvada is being spoken by Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami. We are coming to the outer circle now. Up until now, Vidura and Maitreya Samvada has happened. And Vidura went to the Hastinapura, right? So all this is relayed by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit. So now we are moving from that innermost circle to the little outer circle. Now, Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, we have heard about this Priyavrata. It is amazing how this Priyavrata, after hearing from Narada Muni, how did he go back to household life, to Grastashramam again? Isn't that a fall down thing? After entering into Vanaprastha, renounced from the social and family life, again going back to Grihastha life. Is that a step? Isn't that a step back? Why did that happen to Priyavrata? And he was hearing from Narada Muni. So how is it possible for somebody who has been hearing from Narada Muni go back to the Grihastha life and absorb in the family life again? Okay, if that happened, how come he again came back from the family life, got detached from it, and attained infallible perfection? This is amazing. Can you please tell me more about this, Guru Varya? Parikshit Maharaj is asking to Sukadeva Goswami. And then Sukadeva Goswami says, one line, like a punch statement, punchline. The obstacles in bhakti cannot obstruct absorption. This is a statement. Sukadeva Goswami said, the obstacles can't obstruct absorption in Krishna, in the Lord. So Priyavrata, he might be obstructed in his so-called external journey of life, from the Vanaprastha renounced order back to the family, Grihastha-ashrama. So it's a kind of obstruction. It's a kind of obstacle, because it is more easier to be absorbed in the devotion when there are no responsibilities of a Grihastha. And in his case, as a king, so many responsibilities, right? So there are all kind of obstacles. But Sukadeva Goswami is saying, yes, there might be obstacles there, but the absorption is not impeded. It cannot obstruct absorption. That's something very much pertinent for us. That is a lot of hope giving for us, actually. See, the obstacles here for Priyavrata, it may be just going from Vanaprastha or Sannyasa Ashrama. There was no, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa Ashrama, back to the Grihastha Ashrama. But in our case, the obstacles, in general, the obstacles in bhakti, how can they come to us? In many forms. If categorized, the obstacles from this body, the obstacles from this mind, what to speak of obstacles from this mind. Every moment an obstacle from the mind, everything else but bhakti. It has so much to say, but about Krishna, like that. So obstacles from the mind, our own mind, obstacles from our own body, and obstacles from the people around in so many ways. Right? So these are all the obstacles. But Sukadeva Goswami is saying, yes, they may be obstacles, but they don't have to obstruct the absorption. That is our guidance. This is what we want to hear from these Bhagavatas. So our bhakti is about our bhajan, not about our aparadas or obstacles. Our focus is more on our bhajan. How much are we able to do? How much we want to do? Our focus is not about how much is impeding me, how many problems do I have, how many anarthas do I have. So our focus is not about our obstacles. Obstacles will be there. As long as this body is there, obstacles from the body will be there. As long as this mind is there, the obstacles from the mind will be there. As long as there are people around, not just the people, jivas around, obstacles will be there. Dukkhalayam, the formula of this alayam is this abode, right? Abode of misery. So looking for the obstacles to go away, we get disappointed. So obstacles will be there, but our absorption need not be obstructed. Tapanti vividas tapanaita madgata chetasaha. How can that be possible? Madashraya. When Shrinvanti, when Madashraya kadamrishtaha, when the ashraya of the Lord is taken through Guru, and when the Krishna Katha is heard, when the shelter is taken, when the shelter of Guru and Krishna is taken, in that shelter, we hear the Krishna Katha, we do the Krishna Seva, right? That itself, tapanti vividas tapanaita, madgata chetasaha. That itself increases our absorption to such an extent, madgata chetasaha. Madgata chetasaha, chitta. Our absorption into the Lord is deepened so much with the ashraya of the Lord through Guru and hearing the Katha and serving the Lord. Tapanti vividas tapanaita, all these tapas, all these obstacles, even though they are there, it will not impede our absorption. Yeah? So that is how, that's the message for here. 2 points. Yes, the obstacles will be there throughout our life, but our absorption need not be obstructed. How can that be possible? Our focus, our effort is more on how to absorb in the Katha of Krishna, in the Seva of Krishna. Our focus don't want to be on how much anarthas are there, how many obstacles are there, how much more are coming. Our focus is not going to be there. Shifting the focus and investing our energy and time in this of how much bhajan is possible, how much nama, how much seva. That's the second point. Third one is, where is that inspiration? Where is that strength? Where is that vision coming from? in order to be absorbed in this, in Krishna Katha, Nama, Seva. Madashraya, Kadamrishtaha, Ashraya of Guru and Krishna, Ashraya of the Katha, Krishna Katha and Seva. That will give us the strength. And the words of these Mahajanas from the Srimad Bhagavatam, they are our guidance, they are our inspiration. So in the light of this inspiration and this guidance and this strength, we focus our time and our energy on how to be absorbed in the Lord. So this is a very directing point for us. So Sukadeva Goswami says that the first thing, obstacles can't obstruct absorption. So he says, okay, now I'll tell you about what happened to Priyavrata. But before that, did you hear me, Parikshit Maharaj? Obstacles cannot obstruct absorption because Priyavrata, now here we see the example of how this is Jadabharata, the life of Jadabharata and King Rahuguna. This we will come to know in the future chapters. They were just the examples of how there were obstacles in the life of King Bharata, but the absorption was not impeded. Those were just the examples of that. But Sukadeva Goswami, he continued to narrate the story of Priyavrata. Once upon a time, Priyavrata, who was the son of Swayambhu Manu, he was meditating under the guidance of Narada Muni in the foothills of Gandhamadana mountains. Where are these Gandhamadana mountains? Yes, we know Himalaya mountains, but where are these Gandhamadana mountains? We will know about all these beautiful mountains in this 5th chapter. The whole cosmology, the whole Bhumandala, Jambu Dvipa, everything will be explained in the 5th canto. So, here at this Gandhamadana hills, Priyavrata is meditating under the direction of Narada Manu. Swayambhu Manu comes there, his son, his father, and he asks, Priyavrata, I think it's time for me to go to the forest. I guess I should be doing this Vanaprastha now and retire from my kingly responsibilities and wind down everything from this material world so I can start my journey back to the spiritual realm. So I should be retiring. That's what Swayambhu Manu says. I should be retiring, Priyavrata. I think it's time for you to please come over to the kingdom, take over those kingly responsibilities. So Swayambhu Manu comes there and he asks Priyavrata to come and take the throne. So the question from Priyavrata was, I am so peacefully renounced here and I am advancing in my spiritual journey here. But if I go back to that Grihastha ashrama, where is the guarantee that I will not be attached to that material life? Is there a guarantee? Yes, I can go back, but is there a guarantee? That's the question of Priyavrata. And that's when, as this question is being asked by Priyavrata, Brahmaji, he can hear everything, right? By the way, we know that, right? Brahma has an ethereal body. It means he's almost like all-pervading in this Brahmanda, like ether is all-pervading. Yeah, their bodies are very subtle. So Brahmaji, he knew what Priyavrata is saying. So he came down on his swan carrier. And you see all of his associates behind. When Brahmaji comes, behind you will see all these residents of Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka accompanying. Gandharvas, Siddhas, Kimpurushas, Kinnaras, all of them, they accompany the Brahmaji. It's like this. When Lord Vishnu comes, all of these plus Brahma plus Lord Shiva, they have to accompany. It's because, see, the Brahmanda, Bhuloka is here, right? And if somebody has to come and give darshan on Bhuloka, whoever is coming and giving darshan, all the inhabitants in that lower planetary systems below that particular personality giving darshan should also come, will also come. See, for example, if Indra is coming, along with Indra, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, they are in the lower, below the Svargaloka. They are there. So they also will come with Indra. Okay, the higher cadre as we go on. If Brahmaji is coming, all of these, Siddhas, Charanas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Indras, Maharleka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, all these residents also come with Brahmaji. Then Lord Vishnu from the spiritual abode is descending. All these plus Brahma plus Lord Shiva, they also accompany. So this is their protocol. Yeah. So that's how Brahmaji has descended there. And Brahma, Bhagavatam very beautifully describes. It doesn't describe that Brahma has descended there. Please read the Bhagavatam says, seeing the swan carrier there, Swayambhu Manu understood that the Brahma has appeared there. That was the description. So that's how Brahma has come there, he has appeared, and then he goes. He tells Priyavrata, what does he say? He tells, okay, Priyavrata, I have heard you. I understood your concern. But, my dear boy, don't deviate from Lord's order. You are trying to trespass. You are trying to do the spiritual bypassing. The rule is you go from Brahmacharya to Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. You are bypassing. No bypassing. Do not deviate from Lord's order. Yeah. Even Shiva, Manu, Narada, everybody has to follow Lord's order. And he says, Natasya kaschit tapasa vidyayava na yoga viryena manishayava naivartha dharmai paratasvatova kritam vihantum tam brihad vibhuya. One may be a big tapasvi, or tapasvi means one may be doing a lot of austerities, or they may be having a lot of vidya education, or they may be very good at, having the yoga siddhis or intellectual manishaya. Even if they have all this, they still have to abide by Lord's order. Yeah. And you cannot use religion, Naivartha Dharmai Paratasvatova, in bypassing the Lord's order. We all should be abiding Lord's order. Why is Brahma saying all this? The Lord's order is this. See, when there is Lord's order, it means there is a reason behind that. See, all the jivas, they have different svabhavikas, different desires. Based on their desires, they get the bodies. Okay, that's how the jivas get the bodies. Now coming to the human beings. Based on the svabhavika of the human beings, or the svabhavika of the human beings is propensities of the human beings, they are in Varna and Ashrama. So Varna and Ashrama is there for a purpose. These propensities of the human beings are purified as they pass through this Varna Ashrama. That's why there is Brahmacharya first and Grihastha and then Vanaprastha. If you try to bypass this Grihastha and then go to Vanaprastha, in a general sense for general people, then your propensities are not nullified. Your purification is bypassed, and that is not good for you. So go through the purification stage. Lord Brahma says. So there is a reason why that Varnashrama is built like that, Daivi Varnashrama. Lord has set up that. So when it is set up like that, we have to follow that setup. Like a bull follows the order of the driver and goes in the direction where the driver wants. Yeah. And in this way, all these human beings, whatever karma they have to enjoy, even bad karma or good karma, they will go through. They will reap their fruits, either enjoyment or suffering, while they go through the Varnashrama Dharma. That's why Varnashrama Dharma is there. And you think you may be able to, you think you can bypass the Varnashrama. But what to speak of you, even the liberated people, they take this body. They take this body, and when their karma comes back, they just look at that karma as if a awakened person looks at the dream. Beautiful words of Brahma. It means even the liberated persons may be coming back into the body, but they are not affected by the karma. And what Brahma is trying to say is, you also go through the Varnashrama, and you don't have to be affected by the karma. And you know how? You seek shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. This is the answer Brahma is giving. The first question and concern that Priyavrata had. Okay, I can go back to the Grihastha life, but can you assure me that I will not be entangled in that material life? Now Brahma is that. Yes, you don't have to be entangled there if you seek shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Like a liberated person looks at the karma that is coming to him as a dream, not affected. As a dream that he had after he awakens. Means, as an awakened person remembers his dream. It means a person that is awake is not affected by the dream anymore. The dream stage is gone. Like that, you may be going through this grihastha, but still you can stay unaffected by taking shelter of the Lord's lotus. Brahmaji says that. He also says this. See, you're trying to bypass this grihastha life, right? But remember, you may be coming out of all this, the society. You may be doing the sannyasa, but you'll have 6 wives always with you, the senses and the mind. Instead, if a householder has full control of the senses and mind, then he lives a life of a king where he has defeated all his enemies. This is what Brahmaji says. So that's how he gives the comparison, how a grihastha who has full control on the senses and mind can be more untouched and liberated when compared to somebody who had renunciation but still has attachment to the senses. So Brahmaji says, okay, please go ahead. Go ahead into the grihastha, take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, and you can stay untouched there. Then Priyavrata, after hearing this from Brahma, who is the father of the Narada, who is the guru of Priyavrata. That's the scenario there. So when Brahma is saying those words, Narada has accepted those. Narada did not oppose it. He would not. Because that's the need of the universe at that time. So Narada has accepted. And then Priyavrata, he also took those as the instructions from his superiors, and he sought the permission from his guru. And then he entered Priyavrata carried out the order of Brahma. So Brahma returns to Satyaloka. Swayambhu Manu becomes very happy. He goes for the retirement, and Priyavrata enters into the work now. He is enthroned. Here, one thing for us, dear devotees. Look at Priyavrata. So where is the advancement here now? What is considered as advancement in bhakti? He didn't wanted that material life. Grihasthashrama has come to this renounced life, right? That is pretty good advancement. And this was the very question of Parishit Maharaj. But look at what has happened in this whole scene here. Narada is instructing there. Priyavrata did not want to go for that material entanglement, but the order has come to go back and take that responsibility. So what is the advancement in bhakti? How do we know we are advancing in bhakti? Is it because we have renounced something? Or is it because we have achieved something? Does any of these things signify our advancement in bhakti? Our bhakti is, as we have seen here, how flexible are we to the instructions and the order of our Gurujana superiors, because they know well. They know well about us, they know about the need of the hour, and they can see us. So how much are we abiding and how much are we pleasing them? That is the advancement in bhakti. This is otherwise called as Guru Nishtha. See, this submission to the superiors, here in this case, Narada Muni and Brahma, the superiors, this Guru Nishtha. How is this applicable to us? See, a devotee, how do we know that our Guru Nishtha is more mature? In the beginning, we may be getting an instruction from our Gurujan. So how do we know if we are being in Guru Nishtha just fanatically or maturely? How can we know it for ourselves? Because we want that to be in a mature way, not in a fanatical way. In the name of Guru Nishtha, we cannot be on a Kanishta platform and get stuck, in the bhakti in the mode of passion. So how do we know if our Guru Nishtha is in a fanatical way or in a mature way? What are the indicators? Dhruva Maharaj, if you remember, when he was about to go back, enter into the Vaikuntha Vimana, he was circumambulating the sages there, and he says, Shantaha samachittaha shuddhaha sarvabhutanuranjanaha yanti anjana achyuta padam achyuta priya bandhavaha. Achyuta priya bandhava. Achyuta priya bandhava, a dear relative, dear family of Achyuta are the Vaishnavas, right? The Vaishnavites, and especially Achyuta Priya, very dear to the Lord, whoever is carrying Govinda in their heart, right? All the Vaishnavas are dear to the Lord. But those pure devotees really know how to please the Lord, right? So if we have Bandhava to Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha, when we are related to those Vaishnavas, to those Gurujana, through the Sambandha, we have Sambandha with the Vaishnavas, with the Gurujana, right? So when we are properly situated in our Sambandha, submissive Sambandha to our Gurujana, these qualities will come out. What are those qualities? Shantaha, samachittaha, shuddhaha, sarvabhutanuranjanaha. This is the maturity of the Guru Nishtha. Shantaha, they are peaceful. Samachittaha, equipoised, and their vision is equal, having equal vision, all the living entities. And Shuddhaha, pure in intention. And Sarva Bhutanuranjanaha, this is beautiful. Sarva Bhutanu Ranjanaha, to all the bhutas, to all the living entities, they are Ranjana, they cause rejoice to their hearts. Same as Parikshit Maharaj was singing, right? Maitri astu sarvatra. Maitri, friendship with all the living entities, Sarva Bhutanu Ranjanaha. This is Jivadaya. Jivadaya. So this is how we know our Guru Nishtha is mature when we have these qualities. Shantaha, we are peaceful, our intention is good, and our vision is equal to all. And we have Jivadaya, Sarva Bhutanu Ranjanaha. When we have these qualities, then we have good understanding and we have maturity in the Sambandha, in the Guru Nishtha. Then whatever seva is given, then that seva will manifest. And if we do not have these qualities, and if we are more in a passionate mode, then it's just a matter of time that we get more mature and to get to this stage of Sarva Bhutanu. So Priyavrata, he did not mind to go back to the Grihastha-ashrama, leaving this sannyasa or vanaprastha-ashrama. That is his success in spiritual life. He's not stuck to my advancement in bhakti like that. Yeah, so that is very important for us, dear devotees. Yeah, so Priyavrata, Maharaj Priyavrata is enthroned. Now, we want to keep this short. So we will just go for next 5-10 minutes more and then we'll wind down. Next is all pretty quick because Priyavrata's older son is Priyavrata has 10 sons. Now we will see in the next chapter. Yes, Priyavrata. Yeah, this is continuing here. Okay, good. So Priyavrata is enthroned, and then Priyavrata he rules. He rules the kingdom free from material attachment, and he's married to Barishmati. And with her, he has 10 sons and one daughter, Ujjaswati. Ujjaswati gets married to the demigods, Sukracharya. Yeah, Ujjaswati is married to Sukracharya. These 10 sons, here, 3 sons, they become celibate. They are celibate sons. They Kavi, Mahavira, and Savana. And the other 7 sons become Kshatriyas. Okay. That is with first wife, Barishmati. And with the second wife, he has 3 sons. Again, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata. These are the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Manus. See, Swayambhu Manu is the first one, right? This is the day of Brahma. 14 Manvantaras. The first Manvantara, that is Swayambhu Manu. Second one, that is Varochisha Manu, is different. Third one is Uttama. 4th, Tamasa. 5th, Raivata. So this Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata, these Manus are the sons of Priyavrata, who is the son of first Swayambhu Manu. Yeah. So these are the descendants of Priyavrata. So Priyavrata, he rules his kingdom very well. And these are the descendants. And here, Priyavrata, he gets married and he rules his kingdom. But it looks like he was very much entangled. He was getting entangled with his wife Barishmati in his family life. When he realized that, he leaves everything behind and then goes back to Vana, comes to the forest and then continues his tapasya. Before doing that, Priyavrata, he has done these things in his kingdom. Not only he gave these sons, all these wonderful sons, we will come to know. This 10 sons of Priyavrata here, where 7 sons are Kshatriya, these 7 sons, the first among that son is Agnidra. We will hear about him soon, and we will know about the 7 sons. So those sons and these 3 future Manus, Uttama Tamasa Raivata. So his contribution is all these sons. Also, he did something marvelous. Priyavrata, he saw that the sun, when sun is circling in this Brahmanda like this, only one half of the Brahmanda is getting the light, and the other half of the Brahmanda, which is far from the sun, is not getting the light. The Bhumandala is not getting the light. So Priyavrata decided that he is going to bring the light to the other half of the Bhumandala also. So he clones himself. So one Priyavrata, he is there on the Bhumandala ruling, and the other Priyavrata rides on the chariot in the course of the sun, the sun's course, and he gives the effulgence to the other side of the Bhumandala as the sun is giving to the rest of the Bhumandala. That is an amazing act. Yeah. In that context, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, what is so amazing about this devotees? Of course, expected. The Lord is amazing, so as the devotees. The Lord's pastimes are like that, so as his devotees. And in that context, he says about Trivikrama, where Lord Vamana becomes Trivikrama and Urukrama. In that context, he says, when the Lord has become from a dwarf to so huge, 3 Vikrama, occupying these 3 worlds, from Vamana, dwarf, to 3 Vikrama, occupying these 3 worlds, and expanding these 3 planetary systems, and occupying all the planets just within 2 steps. If the Lord can do such an amazing feat, why not the devotees? That's what Sukadeva Goswami says. So these are the contributions of Priyavrata before he went into the forest to continue where he left his tapasya with Narada Muni. Again, in Bhagavatam, it is really nice, dear devotees, if possible, at least read those translations quick. Each chapter, just read the translations. It would not take long. See, after we hear this, right? After we hear this session, if you read only the translations, it would take about 5 or 10 minutes each one. But the language, the words of those Mahajanas are really impactful. Here, it is said, by the grace of Narada Muni, Priyavrata has recollection again and then could go back and continue his devotional journey. So this is how Priyavrata just decided to get out of this Grihastha family and kingdom affairs when he thought he was ready to get entangled there. So he could walk out of it by the grace of Narada Muni. So this is about Priyavrata, his accomplishments and his contributions in the form of sons and manus. And the next one is about Agnidra, very quick one. Agnidra is the first son of Priyavrata. This Agnidra, he ruled Jambudvipa. Now this really gets, whoever has this curiosity of knowing what this Jambudvipa is. We've been hearing about this Meru Parvata, Gandhamadana mountains, Jambudvipa. What are they? We will get to know more about. So his father, Agnidra, where was he doing his tapasya? Gandhamadana mountain. And now, Agnidra here, he is ruling Jambudvipa. Correct? So, oh, by the way, Priyavrata, remember he had the 7 Kshatriya sons? When Priyavrata was going in the course of that sun, his chariot wheels made 7 furrows, 7 ditches on the Bhumandala. Say if this is like a Bhumandala plain, right? That's plain, flat plain. There are 7 ditches, 7 furrows across the Bhumandala. Have you ever heard, dear devotees, especially in India, in our childhood, you might have heard this. That person came from 7 oceans. Sapta samudralu datacharu. In other words, 7 samudras, 7 oceans. He has come crossing over 7 oceans. We might have heard that. I always used to wonder, where are the 7 oceans? We only see here 5 salty oceans. Where did number 7 come from? I used to wonder. Those 7 oceans are in Bhumandala, not just Bhuloka. It's Bhumandala. And each ocean is filled with different things. Our ocean, these 5 so-called our oceans, this is just one, a salt ocean. And the next one is made of honey. Next one with yogurt. That we will get to the details later. But the Jambu Dvipa is the middle part. So this part is given to Agnidra because he's the older son. The other 6 islands were given to the rest of the 6 sons of Priyavrata. So Agnidra is in Jambudvipa and on one of those islands. And he was doing tapasya there for what? For a wife. For a wife. So he can start ruling the kingdom, right? Wife and then kingdom and the descendants. The same thing, same story for all the kings. So Brahma sent Purvachitti there. And Agnidra, he was attracted to Purvachitti. And then, of course, he married Purvachitti. And Agnidra Purvachitti had sons, 9 sons. And Nabhi is the oldest one. Nabhi. And after giving these are the 9 islands, dear devotees. This is the Jambudvipa, not the islands yet, but this is the center part of the Bhumandala, which is Jambudvipa. Have you heard, in the South Indian temples especially, the priests, he says these mantras. Jambudvipe, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kande, Merohu, Dakshina Digbhage. That is a GPS location for us. And this is that Jambudvipa. And the Meru Parvata is in the very center. This is the Dakshina Digbhage. This is the Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kande. We will know the details more, but this is Jambudvipa. So in this Jambudvipa, in this center part, this Jambudvipa, Agnidra is ruling. And Agnidra is ruling this Jambudvipa, and he has 9 sons. So he gave this 9 varshas to these 9 sons. Varsha means a tract of land, like that. So this is one varsha. You see, all these yellow parts, these are varshas. And the brown parts are the mountain tracts dividing these varshas. So altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these 9 tracts, 9 kings. So the older son of Agnidra is Maharaja Nabhi. And Nabhi is given this Bharata Varsha. Okay. And so Agnidra, after his death, this is the last point before we end. Agnidra, it is said that Agnidra, after he left his body, he was still with the lusty desires. And Parikshit Maharaj was wondering, how come this happened? Priyavrata is a devotee. Agnidra is the eldest son. How come Agnidra? We have seen Dhruva Maharaj going back to Godhead, Prithu Maharaj going back to Godhead, Prachina Parishad back to Godhead, Prachetas back to Godhead. Yeah, Priyavrata ultimately back to Godhead. How is this Agnitra not to back to Godhead? Why did he go to Pitraloka? That was the question. Why this middle stop Pitraloka before back to Godhead? The answer was Agnidra was so much attached to his wife Purvachitti. So even if after Purvachitti left, even after Agnidra left his body, he was so much attached to her. The subtle body is so much attached, is full of lust still. If there is lust, why would one go back to Godhead? He will still stay in the lusty place. Purvachitti was in Pitraloka. So he also went to Pitraloka, Agnidra. And he spent a lot of time there. And after that, slowly he made his back home. So the question to Parikshit Maharaj was, how come this happened then? Why is it Priyavrata had this kind of older son? The answer was, Priyavrata, after he came back to the family life, he did his very best, took shelter of the Lord. He ruled very well. One more thing. When Priyavrata came back, his ruling was not half-hearted. He did rule. He ruled responsibly and in a detached way. It's not an easy combination, but he did it. But Priyavrata, same as Brahma. Remember, Brahma also had this problem. Priyavrata also had a little thing there. Priyavrata became lusty at some point. And then when he had a union with his wife with that lusty mentality, that's when Agnidra was born. And that's why Agnidra had still this kind of thinking. And that's why he was still with lust. And then even after leaving his body, he wanted to go where his wife Purvachitti was. And the message here is, in the previous Krita Yugas, in the previous column, previous ages, before the union of wife and husband, the wife, they used to do it as actually, garbha sanskaras, right? They used to take that as a yajna, giving birth to a child. So they used to follow these purificatory rituals. If the couple followed the purificatory result and then give birth to to the progeny, then that is a purified birth. But in Kali Yuga, it doesn't happen. That's why most of the births are called Sudra births. That's why in Kali Yuga, almost all the births are Sudra births. There are no purificatory ceremonies. In the purificatory ceremony, when they do that, then the last part of it comes down a lot. They do it as a yajna. That's why the progeny that is born are more in a purified nature. But in Priyavrata's case, especially with Agnidra, that was he was lusty at that time. And that's why Agnidra ended up being like this. And of course, Priyavrata soon realized that. And that's why he left the whole material entanglement and went back to the Vana to do the tapasya. So that's something. And I think rest of it we will do next time. Who are the sons of Agnidra, and the rest of it we'll discuss next time. But to give you an idea, the fifth canto has, as we are discussing, Priyavrata, and then Agnidra, then Agnidra's oldest son, Nabhi's oldest son, Rishabhadeva's oldest son, Bharata Maharaj, and his 3 lives. Yeah, I think it is here, not in this the other PowerPoint. So, and his 3 lives. After that, the description of the Jambu Dvipa. Here it is. Yeah, this is all the 5th canto. Priyavrata, this is Agnidra, and then Nabhi, Rishabhadeva, and Bharata in 3 lives, Jambu Dvipa, and the whole cosmology, the whole Brahmanda, and then the subterranean planets. and the hellish planets. This is the whole 5th canto. And in this, we have heard about Priyavrata and we have heard about Agnitra. And later on, we will hear this about Nabi and Rishpadeva and others. So what we have heard today, just summarizing that quickly, we have heard about the Sarga and Visarga, how the Sarga and Visarga was started in the 3rd canto. Sarga was started in the 2nd, but most of it was covered in the 3rd canto. So Sarga and Visarga was started from the 3rd canto on. We have heard about Swayambhu Manu, the whole progeny, the 3 daughters, and then Uttanapada, now Priyavrata. Right? In Priyavrata, what we have heard is that how come this Priyavrata's is not his journey is not obstructed. His absorption is not obstructed by his obstacles. That was the question. So there we have discussed about how obstacles are going to be there, but absorption does not need to be impeded, obstructed. Yeah. And there we have discussed about how is that possible. Tapanti vividas tapanaita. How? By madkata chet, by madashraya, by taking the ashraya of Guru and Krishna, in the Krishna Nama, in the Krishna Seva, we will be in the Krishna Bhavana. We get Krishna Bhavana through the Krishna Nama, Krishna Seva, and Krishna Katha. And our focus will be on the bhajan, not on the obstacles that we have discussed. And then after hearing that, we heard about how Priyavrata was. He obliged, he accepted the order from his superiors and also Narada Muni, and how he went back to Grihastha life. There we have talked about the Guru Nishtha. And there we also discussed about how what is the fanatical way and what is the mature way of Guru Nishtha. Something Guru Nishtha with Jivadaya is the mature way. With hard-heartedness and harshness in the name of Guru Nishtha is more of a fanatical way and has to be ripened. That we have heard. And this Lord Brahma is saying, no, you should go back to the Varnashram. You should go back to the Grihastha. So that we have heard. And yes, the other thing is, by taking shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, then even in the Grihastha ashrama, one can stay untouched by the senses and mind, agitation of senses and the mind in Grihastha ashrama by taking shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. That we have heard from them. And then contribution of the Priyavratas in terms of the 3 Manus and the 7 Kshatriya sons that we have discussed, of whom Agnidra is the oldest one, and 3 Manus, future Manus, are also contributed by them. And Sukadeva Goswami saying that so as Lord is amazing, so as his devotees. Yeah, that we have heard from Priyavrata. And from Agnidra, one point that we have heard is depending on the consciousness of the couple during the conception will be the nature of the children. That's what we have heard from Agnidra's life. Okay? So we'll pause here, dear devotees. Thank you so very much.